what I would like to take you through what are the steps of the competitions, and then how I support my clients throughout the process. So we start with the number one, which is the application forms, right? Now, you have 3 documents in the application forms. Number one, the CV. So I would say wherever you come from, we have to rewrite the CV, so then hopefully we have a good quality CV. Make sense?
Yes.
So that's the first thing. The second thing, there are in the application forms of the EPSO, there are 4 questions that we call them motivation questions, right? And these motivation questions have to be obviously done in a very high level. So, or let's say professional or comprehensive or exhaustive, so that the ones reading your documents will have, or let's say will be impressed, correct? This is number 2. Number 3, when you go for a specialist competition like this one, 86 data protection, or Ramon one, agriculture and health, or something like that, right? So if there is a specialist competition that starts normally at 86, then you have something that is called talent screener. Make sense? Caroline, do you have a talent screener in your application? No?
Yes.
I don't think so. It's 86, so should be data protection officer.
They don't have.
Not for the data protection, no. For the data protection, there is no.
Okay.
They have a new part that is called motivation.
Sorry, you say?
They have new part that is called motivation and strengths. That's a new part.
Interview.
No, but for the data protection, actually, you have to fill in a form, and then after, if you're filling the eligibility criteria, you have to do field tests, multiple choice based on the field test.
But this is test. We are talking, Dumi.
But there is no talent screener this time.
Dumi, could you check on the announcement? Because the application form should have a talent screener if it's a specialist competition. So, okay. Normally, so what I'm saying is the first thing I do with my clients is to prepare these documents, right? So to be sure that they have a good quality documents to place, let's say, to apply with, right? This is the application forms. Now, if it's a junior competition or an 85 or so, then you have only the CV and the 4 questions of the motivation, right? So there are 2 documents or 3 documents. That's the application. Now we go test. In here, data protection, they have an MCQ, which means a multiple choice questions in the domain of competence, right? And for this particular exam in MCQ, I'm doing a preparation, a training, a masterclass, so that I will help you to see how you will study, how you will revise the substance. Because even if you're a specialist in the domain, like Ramon with so many years of experience, still you have to revise the substance so that you will be able to respond to the question. And the MCQs are very short, precise, concise questions, but there are 40 of them, something like that. So the number is quite big and they go across the domain, right? So it's theoretical knowledge, let's call it like in the university. Right, so that's important for you to know that I will do this test, let's say the masterclass quite soon of the MCQ. In fact, I've done last week, isn't that? On Sunday, I think I had an MCQ for the 85 law. And the MCQ masterclass is to show you how to revise. It's fundamental because if not, you will die doing the revision, right, of your substance. Good. Then there's another MCQ, let's say, which is not in the domain of competence, but is reasoning test, right? Reasoning is verbal, numerical, and abstract, right? Now, they are done sometimes before, sometimes after, sometimes in the same time at the assessment center, whatever. You will have verbal, numerical, and abstract tests. Now, again, I'm doing the masterclass to give you the method, to give you the protocol, to help you to think about how you prepare. And I will do this preparation a lot of time in advance, because the preparation is, how do I say that, takes a lot of time, obviously. And how would I say that? And if you do not invest enough time and practice, and so if the scores are low, obviously they won't allow you to go further, right? So it doesn't have, I would say, anything to do with your specialist knowledge, but that is the way they select verbal, numerical, and abstract test. Good. Now we go to the assessment center. In the assessment center, we have normally a written test, right? The written test can be in the domain of competence sometimes. I don't remember whether you will have it. Do they have written tests in the domain of competence? No.
No.
No. Okay. Sometimes there is. So for the others, think about you might have, right? So now, for example, there is a written test in DEFCO competition, and they have a written test. Sometimes you don't. Okay. Then still a written is called case study. And the case study is a written test, not in the domain of competence. And then this goes for almost all the competitions. So you will have in the data objection, certainly Ramon will have it in the health thing, and even Olia in the secretary competitions, you have a written test with a theme like non-discrimination at work or balancing professional and private life, or you see a theme, but still it's a written test, correct? Good, so we have case study for the ADs, let's say. We have a written test in the domain of competence for some of the specialist competitions. And then we certainly have a written test for the secretaries, or secretaries' assistants is the same category. They have a written test as well. So this is the written, right? Now we go. On the oral, we have interviews, right? Now, 2 or 3, that depends on the competition. Interviews, you could have one which is obvious. It's a general interview. It's called CBI, competence-based interview. And the CBI is just a general interview, right? And they talk about, or they want to find out and they go along the 8 competencies, which are the EPSO competencies. And what you have to do in this specific interview is to illustrate the EPSO competencies, right? So all your examples should be well conceived, obviously well presented, so that you can demonstrate that you have the EPSO competence. Good. So this is the CBI. Competence-based interview, it's a general interview. Good. Second, interview in the domain of competence, right? Now, obviously, the interview in the domain of competence is the one where you demonstrate that you are the specialist. And this interview, again, as you understand, I don't need to tell you that for each of the stages that I mentioned, I organize master classes, right? For every single thing you will have on the website, master classes, prepare you for that specific test. So here we are talking about interview in the domain of competence. Then during the master class, again, I show you how you organize your thoughts, how you present them, what is the structure, what are the possible questions, and then obviously what are the possible responses, because you want to demonstrate that you are the specialist that they are looking for. Great, so this is the interview in the domain of competence. And sometimes for an 85, for example, they will have a motivational interview, right? Which is a very short one, about 20 minutes or so, but nevertheless, obviously we should prepare the motivational interview as well. And then for some of the competitions, they had lately what is called a situational competence-based interview. is the one that replaces the group exercise, which was done before. So it's a situational. I didn't see it, right, Dumi, on this competition. I didn't see any situational.
We have situational case study for the data protection.
Situational what?
SCPI. We have SCPI.
Right. Okay. So then you will have the situational competence-based interview, right? And then again, we will have a masterclass, and I prepare you in order to know how you handle it, which is obviously. Hello, Natasha. Could you show up so that we could see you, and then to see what is the competition you are in? Hello. So these are the assessment center phases, right? And then obviously once you're on the reserve list, then we are going for the last effort, which is to secure a place. That means we will prepare the selection interview, and hopefully you will convince them to pick you up from the reserve list, despite having so many around on that reserve list specifically. And so, as I said, throughout this process, right? So if you count application form, 1 thing, MCQ in the domain, 2, reasoning test, 3. Then we go to assessment center, we have case study, we have interview in the domain, we have general interview, and we have situational interview. So these are 7. And then if you say the last, which is the recruitment interview. So all along this year, because more or less your process will take a year, we will have 8 master classes in which obviously I prepare you for each of your test that you have in front of you. So this is one thing. And the second thing is obviously that if you want, we could do a private session, because sometimes during the group exercise, obviously I could transmit a lot of knowledge and a lot of, let's say, information and so, but what I cannot do is to check what you know, to check what you say, to check how you are prepared to respond. Make sense? So let's call it that in the training I give, right? Whilst in the private coaching, you give. Makes sense? So the process is in the opposite direction. And by having the 2 angles, then obviously that's a very good preparation, which is what my clients are doing normally, right? They are doing trainings or the masterclass in order to learn or to take the information from, and then they are coming in the private sessions in order to check whether they they learn it correctly, and then they prepared correctly their exams. I think that with that I finished my presentation of the phases. Now I'm inviting you to ask a very concrete questions, so hopefully we could go through that aspect. Ramon.
As for me, I would like to know how could we rewrite my CV, which is the starting point for me. Because
so I think for the CV, it's an individual session, because obviously I have to work on your documents. And so drop me a message, an email on my website, and then we go from there. Will be a 2 hours individual session, because we have to work concretely on the document.
Okay.
Good. Somebody else? What else?
I would like to ask Carmen, how, for the master class, how do we know for the calendar? Will you publish them? Because the master class, I guess these are public, no? So
So Caroline, I think that you can put your name on the newsletter, right? Or when you put your name now, right? Did you check that you want to have the newsletter?
I need to check. I don't remember.
Right. So, and if not, just write me a message on the email, and then I will ask Jimmy to include you in the newsletter, right?
Okay.
So if you are on the newsletter, right, then you will get all the information. Normally we do one newsletter per month, and then we give all the dates of the master classes. You see, so you will not get every day, how to say, harassment emails. You will get once a month one email, one newsletter with all the events on it. So then you know what is in front of you. Obviously, I will recommend you to take as soon as possible in order to allow you time to practice. You see what I mean? Don't take the masterclass before your exam. I'm not saying that is not useful, but it is, let's call it, you don't get the return on investment. Makes sense? Whilst if you take your masterclass, for example, now in the EFCO competition, I have people who did the masterclass of the case study 1 year ago. Now, obviously it was COVID thing and this kind of things, but they did the masterclass 1 year ago. Could you imagine? Because they wanted to. And now only they came back because I've done the masterclass on the written on Monday, on the written test. So they came back for a second masterclass on another subject. But so they have done the case study 1 year ago, and they have done the written test now on Monday. You see? So that's, for me, that's the way to prepare. As soon as you know that you will have it, and now we know already the test that you will have in your exam, well, go take master classes. It doesn't matter that you are not yet there, because you will gather a lot of practice.
And I would like to add that before you receive the next newsletter, the schedule is already published on Carmen's website. So September is already there, if you're curious.
That is. Exactly. And now that you know that you will have, for example, a CBI, right? Well, you could take the session I have on Saturday, a CBI. You see the point? So then you take a CBI, which is competence-based interview. It's the general interview, right? Now, you take the general interview, and Asia, you were saying that you go for a recruitment selection process, right? Now, the CBI on Saturday is for you. I mean,
no, I am going for procurement process to make an agreement with the supplier of such services. That's why I'm here.
No. So what I'm saying is that whatever general interview you have, this is the CBI, right?
I have a question. When you are offering those methods and master classes, both in group and individual, do you also have training packages with questions, or how do you train? For instance, if you get like methods for MCQ in
well, I don't sell packages,
no. Okay.
Asia, because I prefer to have my clients in how to say, live sessions and to discuss. I don't believe in you read and you understand. No, I want to see what you understand. And here you will understand, you will ask questions. So then I know that at the end of the masterclass, you got everything and you go out prepared. So that's my philosophy.
My question is, all the sessions gonna be online or in presence?
Look, for the moment, we stay on Zoom. For the moment, right? But, and it doesn't look better in the future, but in the past, yes, indeed. In the past, I was doing everything in presential.
And you are, where are you situated?
In Brussels.
In Brussels, okay.
I'm situated in Brussels. It's, let's say, 2 minutes from EPSO building.
Okay.
So, very convenient, but for the moment, we stay on Zoom.
Okay. Now I would like maybe as well to have a look to my CV, because I think I've done my best. I did it in French, I did it in English, and as well, all my lettres de motivation, the cover letter, French and English. I think that I really did my best. Unfortunately, it didn't work for the moment.
Look, Olia, I'm telling you one story of my one client, and he was going for a head of unit position in the Commission in Digital Research. And then, okay, I prepared the CV, like motivation letter, interviews, everything that he needed, right, throughout the selection process. And then after he was selected and he got the position, I had the unit, the president of the jury met him once, and then he said, I have to tell you that your CV was the best CV that I've ever seen in my life, right? And then obviously Dehan came back to me and said, I have to give you the feedback because it's your merit. So not bad. And then the client this morning, now he goes for a director position. He said, whenever I need to write an application form, something like that, I go to our documents, right? Which are the CV, the motivation letters, everything. And I have to tell you that this guy who got, now I prepare for the director position, guess what is his domain of competence? Communication. So, you see what I mean? If I do the whole communication packages of someone who goes for a director position in communication, it should mean something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was this morning, Dumi is the one that said, because he passed AD 10, AD 12 competition, now I prepare him for a director. And he said, obviously, I will give an interview on how I prepare the competitions. And so on Wednesday, that's why my question to Dumi was, when can you launch the product on Wednesday? Because I will do interviews of my successful clients, right? So that they explain how they prepared. So this is a new product, let's say, and you will find it on my website and on the YouTube channel. I think that we will call them EPSO success stories or something like that, right? We said EPSO success stories. And so he will be the one that we have next. So this guy, so you will even see him in person because he will go on the interview. So something else? Look, I would like to, I don't know, Anna, I see Camille, I see Fabrizia, Cornelia, questions, at least. If you are here, take, yes?
No, I joined later because I had the meeting before, so I missed kind of the presentation. Can I find it on the website or something?
I would say that at a certain point, certainly they will publish it. So just check the website or the Facebook and you will see it. Probably, no? Dumi
Okay.
will come on the Facebook sometimes. Anna, you have questions? No. Good. Fabrizia, questions?
Yes, I have a very practical question just to understand. If I wanted to take the masterclass on Saturday, how does it work? It works that I can take like a masterclass and pay for the masterclass, or how?
Yeah, so it's every time you pay for one product, the one that is in front of you. So the masterclass is normally on the website, and then from the website you can pay directly on Eventbrite.
Okay, so if I want to participate on Saturday, I just go to the website and I book and that's pay. Exactly. And that's all. Okay,
Perfect, thank you.
And then
Would you be so kind to mention again the name of the website where we can go?
CarmenPeter.eu.
3W?
I suppose so. And then CarmenPeter.eu.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
So this is the website. Yes.
Ah, super.
Down. The website, but then you find me on the Facebook and LinkedIn, on Instagram. So there, no, we are present everywhere. And I think that the events or the masterclasses are announced everywhere. So I hope, right, that you could, get to the masterclasses from different platforms.
And just a small question on you mentioned the Facebook. So you have your own account, Carmen Peter, or I have to go to Facebook EPSO?
No, it's CarmenPeter.eu. No, is that?
Yes, but account on the Facebook as well, Carmen Peter.
It's Carmen Peter. It's Carmen's name only.
Thank you.
And we have a Facebook group with EPSO coaching by Carmen Peter. I will put here the links, both links.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Well, see, it made sense to me to be here because there are things that I don't necessarily know. Yes, absolutely. But in any case, Olia, I'm telling you, you will find me. We are quite present, so we are doing our best to be present. So, yeah.
No, in fact, this session I really discovered by random this morning.
Ooh.
Yes, but I'm subscribed to EPSO competition on the Facebook, and thanks to this, I discovered this session today. In fact, that's why I'm asking this.
That's good. So probably, Dumi, we should do more effort to be, I don't know, visible some in that virtual space, right?
Well, from now on, Olia, you have the link as well, so you can find our schedules and communication directly on our page.
So Olia is reassured, but she signaled one thing, that we are not really so present. That's why she didn't find us before. Okay, thank you, Olia. That's a good feedback.
We actually were present. That's how she saw us.
But yes, I've seen the link on the EPSO competition. That's it. By random, in fact, reading the news.
Good Lord. So we have to make an effort, Dumi. We have to be more loud or something like that, right? Okay, Charlotte, question, comment? No?
I have no question. I just wanted to thank you so much for the information, and I also fell randomly on the link, and I found it really useful. And I'm definitely going to check your website, and thank you so much for the info.
You're welcome. And I hope that I could help you as soon as you decide to go for it, right?
Exactly. Hopefully soon.
How old are you, Charlotte?
I'm 29. I used to be a Blue Book trainee at the Commission and currently living in Luxembourg. So
how many years of experience you have?
I have 4 years of experience.
Right, so it's just
but in the private sector.
But it's just above junior professionals, you know that.
Oh yeah, yes. So let's see how things will
now
go.
It's only the competitions.
Exactly.
I have a question.
Start doing them, right? Yeah. Camille, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I mean, it might have been said during the presentation, so sorry if I ask something that has been said, but so for this data protection competition, I read that you need 3 years of a degree with 3 years in the relevant field and 3 years of experience in the relevant field. But I have a lawyer background. I did a bit of data protection, but not.
Look, Camille, I'm not going to, enter this discussion. This is for the jury, right? So okay. You do your best to calculate your experience, blah, blah, blah. I could help you in the writing of the documents, obviously. So I could help you to rewrite the CV, to write the full motivation questions of the EPSO application. But obviously, I'm not going to state on whether yes or no you're qualified.
Okay.
Because sometimes depends if they don't have enough, could be that they will be more flexible in the, and sometimes they are more strict. We cannot know, and there is no point us inventing, right? So what I could do is to help her to do the best, how do I call that? The best documents possible. Yes, this is within my ability, but is not within my ability to judge whether yes or no, you are qualified, you are enough, this is not enough for me.
Okay, thanks.
Caroline?
Carmen? Yes, I wanted to ask you a last question. Do you have, let's say, a duplicate of session, or the session is once per year? For instance, you have now the one on Sunday. I think
No. I'll have many. My point is that because you decided to go for a competition, then you could do them in advance so that you have time to practice, you see. So it's, yes, you could come, let's say, the day before your exam, but.
No. But what I mean, for instance, if 9 September, for some reason, the date is not convenient, do you have it, I don't know, later?
Yeah, certainly. So, yeah, stay
Okay.
with put yourself on the newsletter, and then you will have every month the dates. And then obviously, so if the 9 is not good, then it will be the next. But keep in mind that my principle is sooner the better. All the tests you have to do at a certain point, sooner the better.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think that we could close the session of today. Thank you very much for your presence. I hope that was useful and you know where you go from here. And hope to see you soon.